Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Here we go, folks. Back into it and back at it. If we're here, then you are too. It's Anthony Nappa coming up here on Saving Face.
We'd be here anyway if they weren't here, Tom.
That's true, but it sounds funny.
They might. It does sound funny. We'd be here anyway, every weekend, you know. And we got people to listen, and we appreciate that. And we got
yes, we do.
Businesses and organizations sending out their communications and letting people know who they are and what they do, and
right.
And that's okay.
Like the Safe Harbor people.
Like the Safe Harbor.
Do they have any workshops coming up?
They've got some coming in like 3 or 4 weeks. If you haven't protected your home and life savings, I mean, you could wait for a workshop, but I would give them a call, talk to one of their case managers. Every day they get people fill out a form on the website, or just call the 370-9977 number. And get questions answered. And it's sad when people don't have a plan.
Right.
Because then the New York State runs things. Anybody want New York State to run things? All in favor said? Yeah, no. So get your affairs in order. SafeHarborWillsandTrust.com, Tom.
All right. Anthony Nappa is with us right now. He's the owner of Saving Face Barbershop, and I think we've said it before, and we'll say it again. There ain't no saving his face, is it, Steve's?
I knew he was going somewhere. Yeah, well, I went to Anthony, Tom. You don't know this. I had a private consultation to see if he could save my hair.
Yeah.
And
that didn't work.
No. So thanks for nothing, Anthony.
Well, thanks for having me back.
Well,
considering that I couldn't help you.
It's true.
That's awesome. We're going to have you move up on that mic just a little bit and talk to us. So, Anthony, what's your background? Are you from Syracuse?
I'm from Syracuse, from Cicero. Grew up in the area my whole life, though, and opened up my first barbershop in Camillus in 2009. And here we are. 4 shops and
4.
Yeah, 4 barbershops.
Goodness. Well, where are they all? What are the
Camillus,
locations?
Manlius, Saratoga Springs, and Baldwinsville most recently. So,
do you sometimes cut in the morning over at Baldwinsville and then zip out to Saratoga Springs?
Unfortunately, fortunately not. I got a great team of folks because I couldn't do any of this without them. You know, so only one of me.
What made you want a barber?
I started cutting my own hair when I was 12 years old. My parents weren't getting my haircut as much as I'd like. I was looking like a
use a mirror?
beetle.
Did you use a mirror?
I was using a mirror.
I just wondered, it was, you know.
Yep. And so just the demand, or just wanting to keep up on it myself, and turned into this.
Are you old enough to know what a Flowbee is?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
The infomercials. The infamous Flowbee.
Cut your own hair, Tom, you know?
Oh, yeah, the Flowbee. I mean, that's what you did, and then look at how you turned out. It just didn't
grow out. It just fell off.
It's just
So do you went to school for this, then, I imagine?
So it's funny. That's a great segue into one thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about. I apprenticed as a barber, and most of my people that work for me apprentice. That's one of 2 ways you can get your barber license in New York State. So it takes 2 years. It's more of a slow-going process. The other avenue is to go to barber school. Few people that work for me have. It's 5 months long. The closest one is in Rochester. So that, being the case, my partner Taylor and I kind of saw an opportunity there, and there's been an iron in the fire for a bit, and we're finally excited to announce that we're approved for a New York State accredited barber school.
Wow,
so
that's a big deal.
That's the next move for us. We're going to start with 7 students, and it'll just be nice to get our feet wet with the curriculum. Going to be right in North Syracuse, right on Main Street, by Geddes Bakery and Vince's Imports.
I'm just down the road from there.
So Taylor, my partner, is going to be running the whole show. He's a fantastic educator and kind of teaching people the trade. So that's the big thing.
So do you have your 7 students lined up, or are you looking to?
So we're still recruiting people. We're not going to launch until the first of the year. We got 3 locked in already. So we want to start small. The state, a lot of red tape, as you had talked about with
You're not kidding.
plan and wills and all that. But they approved us for 7 people just based on the layout. So we have a lot of opportunity to expand.
Right.
But yeah, we're going to have 4 more openings. So anyone that wants to become a barber.
So how would they do that? Would they just do the Saving Face Barbershop? Would they connect through there?
SavingFaceBarberAcademy.com.
Oh, look at that.
That's the website for the school, or you can get some info through the normal website.
Or they can call. So maybe someone has a son or a grandson or someone that has some, my youngest is in the Air Force. When they were at boot camp, towards the end of boot camp, he was giving haircuts. He was like, they're like, why are they? Because he's creative, and suddenly they all like dragged him in. It's like, cut my haircut. So he's like giving haircuts, which was kind of wild. I'm like, you're doing what? But some people have a propensity to that, apparently.
That's right.
And
that's right.
And other people are like, don't touch me.
Yeah. There's so many people that's their story, and then they were like, well, this is cool. I like doing it. What's the next step? And they're like, well, I can't find a barbershop to apprentice me, and I got to go to Schenectady or I got to go to Rochester or Buffalo to become a barber.
Right, yeah.
Why
don't I just, become a plumber or something else? And that's fine. But if you want to become a barber, there's been a gap in the market. It's been kind of a dead end in Syracuse.
What's the difference between being a barber and like those other schools being a hairdresser?
So, there's cosmetology. You're going to learn
what's the difference?
Hair color, perms, all the chemical things, nails. Barbering is just going to be the art of barbering. It's going to be straight razor work, classic men's haircuts, and you can apprentice other barbers. That's another big difference. And you can't call yourself a barber if you're a cosmetologist.
Oh, no
So
kidding.
there's a big distinction between the two.
I had no idea.
So I'm a barber. No, I'm not. You said I couldn't call myself one, so I just thought I would. So how's business in those 4 locations? Anything changing? It feels like nothing would ever change because people's hair
always.
grows.
It seems like you always have people.
Trends certainly change. Like mullets are certainly back in style.
Are they?
Different.
How about nose hairs?
Nose hairs always on style.
Do you ever perm? You can't do perms. You can't perm the nose hairs.
We could. Eyebrows, little skinny perm rods. They'd be like needles.
I mean, do you roll your eyes when you do a mullet? You're like, I got to do a mullet. Is there kind of a like, oh, really? It's doing a mullet.
It's just funny because these things are all cyclical.
Yes,
they're going to go out in a couple years and then they'll be back again. It's almost like what's next? What's going to come back next?
Yeah. What would you do? YouTube listeners could experience. What would you do for Tom? Tom's got the Italian. Pull my hair back. Probably uses a clipper. Trim it down. Little gray.
My uncle's a hairdresser.
What would you do? What would you do for this guy? Does he have any chance?
Tom's got a nice head of hair. I don't know.
For 59,
it's a good head of hair right there.
Right.
He's got the used car salesman look.
There we go.
That's how I conduct my whole life, like a used car salesman. How do you keep your hair from falling out? Are there any tricks or tips that you have for aging men? Hats will do it. Limit your wearing hats, but good quality products, not necessarily buying the cheap shampoos off the shelves of the drugstore, buying a better quality shampoo that has less sulfates and harsh chemicals. Does Rogaine really work?
It does work, but the disclaimer with that is if you stop using it, your hair will accelerate and pick up where it should be.
Oh, no kidding.
So it's a drug, it's tough. It's all genetic.
I was going to say, how do you do it? You get different grandparents.
Yeah,
because if you look at your grandfathers, right? That's the whole thing. Let's do with the grandfather.
Yeah.
They say the mother's side, but
and I'm doomed. My both sides.
Yeah.
I
crazy.
I got to have a chance. My dad had more hair than Tom. So
that's wonderful. It sounds like you're doing really good, and
thank you.
We wish you the best of luck. Keep going, and there's 4 locations for you. So SavingFaceBarbershop.com. And, of course, if you want to do the Barbershop Academy, what's that address again?
SavingFaceBarberAcademy.com, and that's 427 South Main Street, North Syracuse.
Excellent. Anthony Nappa right there, owner of Saving Face Barbershop. Thank you, and have a great day.
My pleasure, guys.
Okay, Josh Lang is coming up next. He's the pastor at Redeemer Church in Syracuse. He'll be on the local show on 570 WSYR.